what at the moment would you strike you as the most innovative commercial mechanics for outsourcing that you've
Oh,
seen? So the
yes.
traditional X amount of hours per month upfront commitment, but is there anything beyond that?
Well, I was thinking more of, you know, there. If you go to any exhibition, you know, in different sectors at the moment, it will all be about AI. So it'll be about how do you replace or, you know, enhance the function, but by using AI. So it's about, you know, so you've probably already encountered that, you know, like the chatbots. So, you know, you go into a website, some people's websites, you go in and you start talking. Sometimes you're actually talking to a computer, you're not talking to a real person sometimes. So that's probably, it's the introduction of more and more AI, and there is more and more AI coming into the accounting industry at the moment. I was looking at, there was something else that I was looking at that you could basically put in, you could have, I know it was an AI where you could basically put in some certain key things and they'd write you a whole blog post.
Yes, I think those.
Yeah, I was reading that article. So I think there's a lot of that kind of thing. Okay. In fact, and also read this morning, one of our previous clients who is a lecturer at Henley Business School, so she's employed there, hence why she's not a client, she's still a friend, Dr. Nima Pasha. So she writes some really great articles, and she was writing actually this morning about how your team won't be, you won't be sitting next to a robot, but about how that you will still have the interaction of real people and things. But obviously there is a place for robots and AI, etc. Yeah, that I think that I would say is definitely the most innovative. I don't know. Steve, have you seen anything more?
No, I think definitely that one. I was thinking as you were chatting, ultimately there aren't very many different commercial mechanics you can employ, can you? It's about you want it as cost effectively as possible to get. The only one I've come across, and it's not even that new in the development world, is typically people outsource the development of a project, and maybe they hire in, you know, they contract with the business to say, an outsourcer to say, you'll develop every project for us. One of the things I've seen more people do over the last while is they go to those outsourcers and essentially they pay for a team. So, and what you mean is you then essentially are approving the CVs of the people in the team. You're controlling a team virtually. The outsourcer is responsible for replacing them if they leave. So what you get is you buy your team, but you make it very skilled, flexible, without actually taking on all that cost. So it feels like you get your team, but they're not with you. They're elsewhere, and it's cost effective. So that's.
Yeah, actually, I've just thought of one which actually is quite old because it was when we were at Morse. So do you remember when it was the very start of text messages? And we very first started doing, you would be able to donate to charity through text messages. And when we took it on, it was one of the salespeople that sold the idea. We didn't have a clue how to do it. But as usual, Stephen's team has to work out how to actually do it, and delivered it. You know, but I mean, that is a bit of an old one, but actually that sort of stuff is really quite exciting.
And I suppose it raises the question, actually, sorry, it might be actually relevant to the question of commercial models, but what do you want from your outsourcer? Do you want them to contribute positively? Do you want them to come up with ideas to throw ideas at you, to add extra to the intellectual pot? Or do you just want them to do what they're told? And I'd always look for the former, because you never know what they know that can be of use to you.